Welcome to Mindful Attachment Coaching. Today, we're going to be talking about secure relating, and specifically in the context of intimate relationship. But generally, what we're talking about today applies to all relationships, whether they're with friends, partners, family, and coworkers. And I want to go a little deeper into what are the features, the green flags, so to say, of secure relating. And the reason secure intimacy and secure relationships are so important is because research shows that people with secure attachment and secure relationships report significantly higher satisfaction in life. They're happier and less anxious, and their relationships tend to be more stable. And what we're talking about applies generally to really all relationship structures. So whether you're in a pair bonded relationship, exclusive, or you're in an open relationship, polyamorous relationship, or other relationship structures, these general ideas apply to across all relationships. Even if you're in an insecure relationship currently, you can move towards creating secure, satisfying relationship dynamics right now. And the way it works is, even if you have your own insecure attachment, you can work actively towards relating to each other securely. So both of your psychological system may be insecure, so your own attachment system, say, could even be disorganized, yet you figured out how to collaborate and work together by knowing each other, by creating safety and boundaries. You've actually found ways to be secure in your relationship with each other. Secure relationships aren't about perfection, so even a secure individual and a secure relationship will still have personal difficulties and even relationship difficulties. What's markedly different about these relationships is that you can go with your own personal distress or relationship difficulty and work it all out within the context, the boundaries of the relationship itself, and actually settle, re-regulate, and move on with your life. And this is significant enough that research shows that people with secure attachment are 50% more likely to stay together over a lifetime than people with insecurely attached relationships. So what are the green flags or these features that make up a secure relationship? The foundation of a secure relationship is safety. So when you're in a safe relationship, you feel settled. And when you're settled, you're able to be open and unguarded, and you can share about your own inner experience, what you're up to, and somebody else is there. And this is the other feature, another green flag, is the other person actively listens to you and they're curious about your experience. Of course, this is the third feature of a secure relationship. There's mutuality, so you're able to offer that back in your own way. It doesn't mean that you're doing it exactly 50-50 or tit for tat in the exact same manner. It just feels good for you. You're both getting something out of the relationship that you couldn't do on your own. If you're dating or single and looking to build a secure relationship, here are the main things you want to look for in another person, in a prospective partner. So just like I mentioned previously, you want somebody who actually values attachment, meaning that they get it. They're up for it. They see that the relationship, what you, the two of you, or whatever your relationship structure is, what that offers is more precious, more valuable than what any one person can do on their own. Another feature is there's compassion and forgiveness. They understand they're a person, they understand you're a person, and they also can understand other people are flawed, and no matter how great they are, everybody has their own difficulties and struggles, their ups and downs. They can hold all of that and actually say, you know, that hurt. I'm able to forgive you. Here's the impact it had on me. And in this way, there's a sense of movement. Things don't just build up or get stuck. Another point about secure people is that they're vulnerable. They generally are curious and able to say, here I am, show themselves just spontaneously, authentically, and see that if the other person does well with that, meaning that they're also respectful and safe and they value that, they tend to open up even more. And over time, what you begin to build is this real sense of who the other person is. And it's little by little, so you never get these massive betrayals, these massive breaches of trust. One of the other features of a secure person is that they have a sense of a lively, fresh identity. So the personality is developed. They know who they are, and they also know how they got here. And for my work, I do a lot of attachment assessments. And one of the things that's always fascinating to me is that secure people show up in so many different ways, whereas insecure people actually have relatively limited and rigid defensive strategies that they use over and over again. And one last feature I want to mention is that secure people have a sense of steadiness, resilience. So in the face of challenges, they're able to face them and actually regulate. And I don't want to make resilience a personal construct as if secure people are born into the world this way and they're just sturdier. It's actually more of a community construct. So meaning that secure people have so much social support and capital that no matter what the challenge is, generally they're able to be supported enough and navigated through their own regulation strategies to come out on the other end and be okay. So if you're already in a relationship and you want to move it towards security, I'll describe some of the ways you can do that. And the reason this is important is that about 3 out of 4 people, about 75% of people, whatever attachment strategy you had in childhood, you tend to have the exact same strategy into adulthood. So if you suspect they have insecure attachment and you continue to struggle with adult intimacy, adult relationships, what may be happening or what may be at play is that you have insecure attachment and you just never really learned the skills of secure relating. So here's how you go about moving relationships towards security. First and foremost, a secure relationship is based in safety, and there's physical safety and emotional safety, and this is paramount. So if you don't feel safe, you cannot settle. So both partners always prioritize each other's safety and individual safety. So without that foundation, you can't have a secure relationship. When you do have safety, you're able to emotionally regulate each other, and this is a type of co-regulation. And it's really good. It's really effective at settling two nervous systems together, working in synchrony. So when you have your basic needs met in the relationship in this way, you can begin to move into more positive states. So when somebody is always safe and is emotionally regulating to you and you feel seen and known by them, they make you feel really good. So you may begin to feel excited to see them, you may be happy to see them, and you get a confidence boost from that. You feel competent because when you're regulated, it's like your better version of yourself shows up in the world. So there's this mutual exchange of positivity in the relationship, and you can't help it. It's just automatic because this person, this relationship offers so much to you. And when you feel really good in this way, you're able to explore. And in the context of relationship, exploration means you either have solo explorations, so you and your partner or partners explore different things in your own ways, or you can have mutually agreed upon exploration, so you co-explore together, so you go down the same path together. And of course, you're going to still have your own individual experiences of that exploration, and it really is up to you how you want to organize all of this, how you organize your exploration, what you agree on. And the last point I want to talk about is this sense of collaboration and mutuality. So generally, secure people are up for figuring things out, saying, here's what I want, how do I get that? Here's what you want, let's work towards getting you that. And one last feature I want to mention is secure couples tend to have playfulness and humor and lightness. And the way this shows up is that people can joke and maybe even tease each other. And there's a lightness to the way things are held. So and again, that feeds back into compassion and forgiveness. There's room for different people to show up in their own ways. And the way I think about it is that secure people tend to preserve that sense of goodness, their original innocence that's in every person. It tends to be really preserved, and in a secure relationship, you can let that out, that vulnerability. It's almost like with children where they have this sense of being carefree, where you just see them be really spontaneous, really open, and they don't worry. They're not so self-conscious about it. And just briefly, I want to mention the kinds of emotional regulation you can get from a relationship. Autoregulation is the first of these, and we're all born autoregulators in this world. If you want to know what autoregulation is, you can just watch the way a baby self-soothes. It's essentially emotional regulation in the absence of other people. So the way a baby self-soothes is typically rocking, sucking their own thumb. And adults also auto-regulate, and the way they do it is, for example, by mindlessly scrolling on their phone, watching TV, or even rocking and sucking their own thumb. The second of these is assisted emotional regulation, meaning that there is some other source of assistance. So say another person, or say another person's voice, their body, that's providing regulatory capacity to you, but you're not reciprocating it. So for example, assisted regulation for a baby would be a mother or a caregiver picking up the baby and soothing the baby, but the baby doesn't offer the regulation back. For an adult, this can look like as listening to a podcast or having somebody else give you a hug, but with no expectation of getting anything back. The third of these emotional regulation strategies is called co-regulation. And this one is by far the best, most effective, and fastest way to settle a human nervous system. Co-regulation is where two minds, two bodies come together, attuned to each other, and in synchrony help each other settle. You can do it intentionally, where you really pay attention to each other, have an intimate conversation, talking back and forth, or just even looking at each other, maintaining eye contact, attuning to each other's bodies. Another way you can co-regulate is through movement. For example, dancing together. That movement on the body, the synchronicity of it, can be really regulating to the nervous system. So co-regulation is really the most valuable skill to learn for secure relating by far. If you can't do co-regulation, you cannot have a secure relationship. And the fourth and final of these is called self-regulation, or the way I like to call it is intentional regulation. So here you make a clear effort to regulate, and you actually match the context of your current situation with what resources you have and what's available to regulate your nervous system. With self-regulation, you're saying, okay, right now would be a good time for me to leave and go for a mindful walk out in nature. Or meditation would be another example of self-regulation. Yoga. That's most of what secure relating is that I want to share very briefly with you here. And again, secure relating takes intention and effort, even if you have secure attachment. And it's really just the process of it, the constant engagement and re-engagement to create this container, the safety of a relationship. This briefly covers what secure attachment and specifically secure relationships are. And if you're finding that you're playing out insecure attachment dynamics, or you suspect that you may have insecure attachment yourself, you can find out more about how to earn security in my work at mindfulattachmentcoaching.com. And here we offer classes, workshops, and other resources, as well as one-on-one work you can do to move from insecure attachment to earning security. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a sense of what secure attachment is, and specifically secure relationships. I hope to see you in the next video.